At first glance, a bus having its engine at the rear might seem unusual, especially since most vehicles typically have their engines in the front. But there's a long list of practical reasons why rear engines are the go-to choice for most public buses around the world. And you are going to know each of them. It is going to be very interesting. Please watch till the end. 1. Quieter. Ride for passengers. One of the biggest benefits of a rear engine is noise reduction. Engines are loud, and in a front-engine vehicle, all that sound and vibration ends up right next to the driver and the passengers sitting near the front. By moving the engine to the rear, the noise is greatly reduced in the passenger cabin. This makes the ride more comfortable for everyone on board and helps create a quieter, more peaceful environment, especially important in urban areas where people may want to relax, read, or work during their commute. 2. Easier access and accessibility. Today's buses are designed with convenience in mind, and a rear-engine layout makes it easier to have a low-floor design at the front. This allows for wide doors, ramps for wheelchairs, and easy entry for strollers or elderly passengers. If the engine were placed in the front, the space would be taken up by bulky mechanical parts, making it harder to provide step-free entry. Rear engine placement supports smooth and efficient boarding, which is needed for maintaining tight schedules in a public transit system. 3. Better weight distribution. Engines are heavy components, and placing them at the rear helps balance the overall weight of the bus, especially when most passengers board from the front. It's also helpful in rear-wheel drive buses, where the added weight over the rear axle improves traction. This can be a real advantage in wet, snowy, or slippery conditions, making the vehicle safer and more reliable. 4. Simplified maintenance and cooling. From a maintenance perspective, having the engine in the rear just makes sense. There's more open space at the back of the bus, which allows the technicians to access the engine compartment easily without crawling under the vehicle or disturbing the interior. It also helps with cooling. Engines need air to stay at safe temperatures, and rear-mounted engines can be positioned in ways that make cooling more efficient, especially since they're away from the front wheels and road debris that can restrict airflow. 5. Improved safety for drivers and passengers. Safety is another key reason for rear-mounted engines. In a front-engine bus, the driver and the front-row passengers are seated right near or even above the engine. That puts them closer to the source of heat, fumes, or fire in the event of a malfunction. A rear engine increases the crumple zone at the front of the bus, which can help absorb impact in a collision. It also keeps the driver's area cooler, quieter, and more focused, ideal for long hours of operation. That's a lot of benefits, and then the thought may come, why aren't all vehicles just built like this? While rear-engine layouts have their advantages, most cars don't use them, and for good reasons. The primary factors are handling, packaging, safety, and manufacturing efficiency. First, rear-engine setups place most of the vehicle's weight over or behind the rear axle. While this can improve traction in straight-line acceleration like in some Porsches or the old VW Beetle, it can also lead to unstable handling, especially during high-speed cornering. Too much weight at the back can make a car more prone to oversteering, where the rear swings out, a trait that's harder for average drivers to control. That's why front-engine, front-wheel drive layouts are so common. They offer more balanced and predictable handling for everyday driving. Second, front-engine designs are easier and cheaper to manufacture. The layout is simpler to service and easier to cool thanks to airflow at the front, and works well with front-wheel drive systems, all of which reduce production costs. This is one reason why automakers standardize it for mass-market vehicles. Lastly, there's safety. In a front-engine car, the engine bay acts as a crumple zone during frontal collisions, absorbing much of the impact before it reaches the passengers. Rear-engine cars lack this protective space at the front, which can complicate crash design and make safety compliance more difficult. In short, while rear-engine cars do exist and work well in specific cases, they're not ideal for most everyday vehicles. The front-engine layout simply offers a better mix of safety, control, cost efficiency, and convenience for the average driver. So there it is. It's not just a design quirk, it's a smart solution. Rear engines make buses quieter, more accessible, safer, and easier to maintain. They offer better weight balance and help keep the front of the bus open for passengers. It's worth noting that not all buses have their engines in the rear, especially in certain regions where front engine designs are more common.